Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Johnny Dehn podcast, episode number 3. We probably should have had at least 20 by now, but we've been so damn busy with everything. It's been crazy. Been on a lot of trips lately. Spending a lot of money, probably more than we should be.
Yeah,
But you know what? It's all in good faith. And we're here in Nashville, Tennessee. We're feeling like a bunch of country boys right now. What do you say, fellas?
I would definitely say so.
Oh, my gosh.
I reckon we are.
The Southern hospitality has been real.
It's been real, for sure.
Golly gee. But no, we just have a lot of fun out here right now. Met a lot of cool people. We're in a podcast studio right now. We were supposed to buy a couple of cowboy hats, but we've yet to do that.
Yeah, no. The prices on those were
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely a tourist trap.
Yeah.
Definitely better off
Fucking
on
$60
Amazon.
for one cowboy hat. I walked in, I thought it was going to be like maybe $15-20. Shit was like 65. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Who the hell's paying for that?
Say, like, the thing is, they know the girls will buy that, though.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Absolutely. Not going to lie, the pink ones are pretty sexy, though.
No, they are.
They know what they're doing with that, for sure. Damn. But, yeah, no, I remember last year was the first time we came to Nashville, and we were kind of starstruck. We were like, what the fuck? Like, we walked on Broadway. We're like, is this where all the bars are? I'm like, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
we're like, where are all the bars? We're like, oh, we're on Broadway. This is
Oh,
where all
man.
the bars are.
Jesus Christ.
But that was like early afternoon, but then once it turned like after 11 o'clock, you're like, oh my
Wow.
God.
Yeah. But even during the day, like, the old people even be turning up. Like, they're like, yeehaw! Like, oh
they
my
got 2
God.
beers on their hands and they're ready to party.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Pretty much noon on.
I know, it's crazy. It's almost turned into, like, the country Vegas. Like, it's crazy.
That's what all the natives are saying.
Yeah.
sure.
I remember last year, it was like maybe a Friday, Saturday night, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I met this one girl. I thought she was like a country white girl, but turns out she was Mexican. I must have been a little drunk maybe, but she was cool. I was vibing with her. And she literally thought I was a porn star. She thought I was Johnny Sins. She was like, I thought she was fucking with me. She was like, wait, aren't you the porn star? You're Johnny Sins, aren't you? I'm like, no, I mean, my name's Johnny Dehn, but she's like, no, you're Johnny Sins. Are you kidding me? No, like I watch you almost every Thursday night. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, well, damn. If you want me to, I was talking in a country accent too. I was like, if you want me to be Johnny Sins, I'll be Johnny Sins. Jesus Christ. I mean, fuck. But that's how I made a song. In one of my songs, I used that experience in one of my lyrics. I was like, my name is Johnny Dehn, more bars than Eminem, and I fuck harder than that fucking porn star Johnny Sins. And I was like, oh, man, that shit actually happened to me, too. I was like, damn, okay. I mean, shit. But, no, it was a lot of fun experiences. You just got to be open to the vibe and, like, you know, just be on that type of time. Like, that's what we always say. TOT types. We want to find girl on that type of time. Like, the problem with girls nowadays, too, is, like, even a lot of girls in Nashville, I feel like it's just, I don't know, everyone's like glued to their phones. They're here just to get it on social media. Like, oh my God, I'm in Nashville. Oh my God.
How many times did you see that yesterday where like the girls were like, just do like a 360 all around and they just put their phone away?
Yeah.
And they just posted, put their phone away.
And then you try to like approach them like, oh, ladies, what's the occasion? And they're like, we're here with our friends. Like, I'm like, Jesus Christ, sorry for trying to have a good time with y'all.
Or they're trying to pull out their phones and pretty much pay for the drink for the bridesmaids, right?
Yeah,
basically,
Paying code and hey, buy me a drink and
Or they'll be nice to us at first, and then they'll try to get a drink out of us, and then we'll turn our back for a second, like, Jesus Christ, what, you pull a Houdini?
yeah.
And then you never see her again for the rest of the night.
Disappears.
Yeah, definitely don't pay for it.
But don't get it twisted. There's a few.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I noticed, though? It's those girls that are coming from other states, like the New York girls, the Californian girls.
They can stay in New York.
Those are the ones that be acting like corny like that when they come to places like
Yeah, like
this.
West Coast girls and like Northeast girls, like you could tell, like they're just
But
like very cool.
honestly, the cool girls that we've met here are Tennessee natives. Like they're
Yeah.
like real
Or
Southern girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Southern in general.
Like, and they're here to
or
like
like Central
actually,
States for sure.
They show
Yeah.
that Southern hospitality, and they're here to have a good time and like actually like down to earth and vibe with people. You know what I mean?
And actually know how to hold a conversation for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, like the music here too is unreal. Like the country vibe has just exploded. Like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it was like all, Future Amigos, and even the Uber lady that drove us to the airport or drove us from the airport. She was like, yeah, 5, 10 years ago, like it wasn't all country like this. Like there was more hip hop clubs and, trap, music spots. And now it's all country. There's nothing but country. And I'm
like growing up, like from where we live, like New York, I never heard people listening to country in like 2000s, early 2010s,
Yeah,
mid
that's
2010s. And then all of a sudden, once like late 2010s, like 2018, 2017, then more and more people started like listening to country, like around where we live, and it like really picked up. Because people were just tired of listening to the same like songs like
over and over again.
rap and R&B, just kind of like changing.
Well, don't get it twisted. Like some of the clubs we've been in, I've definitely they play hip hop music. Of course, it's not all.
It's a good
country.
mix.
Like they played the Kendrick diss track. They not like us, and they had their cowboy hats and they was fucking dancing to
It's
it.
a vibe.
Yeah, no, of course. But I feel like definitely like music evolves. Like I feel like every 10 years. I feel like the early 2000s, there was a lot of country. Now it's starting to come back again. And I feel like, even guys like Shabuzi, like the hip hop people are kind of like transitioning into that hip hop to country vibe. Honestly, I like the country rap vibe. I don't know about you guys, but it's kind of a vibe. Like a lot of artists are kind of, tailoring into that, from people like Jelly Roll, Machine Gun Kelly. I think it's a dope thing. Shit,
And it's mixing in their flow now. Like even though it's country, you can hear a little bit of that rock, hip hop mixed in, kind of. And you could tell the vibe now. It's like it's a lot different where they're kind of catering to a wide range of people.
Yeah.
And so it's like it makes it easier for people to tune in who are maybe not know a lot about country. Like for myself, I probably got into it from the last time I came to Nashville.
Oh yeah.
Then just went from there, and I'm still learning. So every time we're going into a bar, I'm like, who's this country singer? But it's a good vibe,
Nah, for real. Nah, absolutely. Honestly, Drizzy Drake, if you're listening, which you're probably not, but whatever, you should probably make a country song and maybe throw a couple diss line towards Kendrick in it and shit. You'd probably have all the country girls fucking twirling their ass on Broadway to it.
Facts.
Make a little bit of a comeback, Drizzy. But that was entertaining. I feel like music is in a good spot right now where there's a lot of good hip hop coming out, a lot of good country, a lot of good pop. There's a lot of good solid genres that are producing some good music right now. I feel like a couple of years ago, like during the pandemic, there's a lot of trash shit coming out, like Lil Pump, like all that bullshit.
Yeah,
but I feel like
there was
now,
like a lot of like one hit wonders for like a minute,
like from 2018 to 2022.
Yeah,
that was like kind of a trash period of music. I feel like, but I think it's starting to circle back, and we're starting to have some good quality acts come back for sure. And which brings me like I'm even myself trying to transition a little bit of my sound into my music. I mean, I recorded a country rap style song a couple months ago. Not gonna lie, that shit was trash. I got to kind of work on that a little bit, but
no, the song was good. Just like whatever studio you went to at that time was just like didn't mix the song in good. Like I'm like, oh shit, yeah.
Let me go back.
But
to
the song
hip-hop.
was a good song though.
It was a good song. It had good lyrics. You weren't there when we recorded it, but
that time.
I think I was just trying to do a little too much country, and I think you guys got to go with what is good with you and what you're feeling, and if it's kind of headed towards the trend, because you could make something sound kind of like country without it being country. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you catch the drift, but I do like the way music is headed for sure nowadays, and honestly, like shit, girls be turning up to anything in the club nowadays. Like
you notice that, right?
You could play a song from fucking 1970, like Dancing Queen. And they be shaking their ass and going, yeah, girl, get it. Oh, my God. It's hilarious. I mean, nowadays, you just got to make something catchy, whatever.
That's all. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to be like a musical genius. As long as it's just catchy, that's all. Yeah. That's all it takes for sure.
No, absolutely. Jeez, but.
Yeah, when you're in a bar, too, and you see all the girls in there, if it's a ratio where it's 2 girls to 1 guy, you can tell by the music right away what they're going to be playing.
Yeah, for
they
sure.
cater to that.
Oh, 100%. Damn. Man, these girls, like, just got me like laughing, like seeing a lot of these girls and the way they act inside these bars, listening to music, and like sometimes I'm just sitting in a club and I'm just like observing girls and seeing what they're doing. Like they're like on their phone 70% of the time, and I watch other dudes crash and burn go up to them, and it's just funny to watch. They're like,
You look up.
yeah, okay. I don't know. What do you fellas think? All right, so what do you guys think is the best move to approach women nowadays inside of a bar or club without being weird, without seeming like a stalker, but like to actually like get their attention and keep them interested to like want to chill and catch a vibe?
Just like try to like engage in like just pick like any topic. Just
I
for
was
like
thinking
a
the same
regular
thing.
Oh, like what
conversation.
you
That
did
way,
yesterday,
that
Joe?
way it doesn't make you look.
Oh my
that way it doesn't
God.
make you look thirsty. Doesn't
hold
make
on,
you look
hold
like
on.
too weird. Just
Remind-
like friendly. Just friendly. That's it.
This guy right here, he might seem a little quiet and shy, but give him a couple Casamigos and throw him in Broadway and Nashville, and he'll be saying some stupid shit, but in a good way. But no, yesterday, I was talking to one girl, and her friend was kind of like getting in the middle, cock blocking a little bit. And,
Oh yeah, you're talking to like that blonde girl, and then she would. And I heard to the side.
Whiskey River.
Yeah, her
Yeah,
friend.
yeah,
Her
yeah.
friend whispered to the side. Oh, just like he's not. Oh, he's just my friend that I met last night. Like, and then the girl was saying, oh no, he's not just your friend. He's just trying to get in your pants and try to take you back to his hotel room. Well,
I'm like,
obviously
no, I'm
that is
not.
the case.
No, I'm not.
That sounds
Nashville.
like Joe. I was like, Joe, that's your type. Curly hair, Spanish, fat ass. Go say something to her.
It's like I'm back
Go
in New
go.
York.
go put her in her place. Go put her in her.
What did? Oh,
You went
I
up to
remember.
her. What'd you say? Tell him what you said.
I went up to 4 of them because it was one guy with another girl. I think she was brunette, and there was 4 of them just standing there. They looked kind of bored, so I'm like, okay, whatever conversation I'm about to say to them, I have to say to all 4 to get their attention, not just one. Because if I go for the one, then the 3 of them are gonna block it, right? So I was like, ladies, I need you to pick a number from 1 to 10.
Genius, by the way.
It was like that old school, what is that thing called where you just have to pick the number, the colors. I forgot what it's called. We used to do it in school all the time.
Shit, you got me
forgot
blanked.
that.
Yeah, it's like you ask a question. It's like you go like that with it. You pick a color.
Oh, the origami shit.
Oh, the
yeah.
yeah.
So I kind of just like said, pick a
You
number
went
from
off
1 to
that.
10.
Yeah.
I didn't have a number ready. I just was thinking, whatever number that girl with the curly head has, I'm gonna go with that. And then
She probably was completely wrong, wasn't she? Or whatever number you had in your head.
honestly,
You didn't have
I
one.
couldn't even count the number of whiskeys I had last night, so I don't
Oh my
remember. I
God.
don't even remember what number it was, but I think she said 7, and then I just said lucky number 7.
Lucky
So
number 7.
That's what popped in my head. And then the next thing I know, you came up and you
Yeah.
said something, right? To the blonde one.
To the blonde one. Oh yeah, well, I had said something prior, and then I walked away because her friend, the Spanish girl, was like cock blocking it and saying, "Oh, whatever." And then I came back and I circled around, and then I said something. What? Hassan? No, because the other
What did you say?
the other girl I talked to originally started talking to some other.
Some other
country
jabroni.
dude.
Some other
Yeah, some other
jabroni. I don't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
know.
So I just came in there and was just chiming in, adding stuff. And then the Spanish girl was like, "Oh, what do I win?" What did she win?
I don't know. She said something about what did she win, and I was like, I owe you a drink. I think I said I owe you a drink, and then next thing I knew, but as soon as I said that, of course, her phone comes right out to get my number.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, oh,
But it's
yeah.
okay that she got the attention and validation. But when her friend got it,
No,
nah.
yeah, God forbid.
Yeah.
God forbid.
My friend
Like
can't
every
get
friend
attention.
group has like every girlfriend group has a ringleader.
Has a
If the
ringleader,
ringleader's not having a good time or no guy
Or
showing her
jealous.
attention, she'll just ruin it for everybody.
She'll
Everybody.
she'll strip it right out of there. She'll be like, no, goodbye. It was nice meeting you. So I was like, Hassan, let's get the fuck out of
Yeah.
here.
Like, okay, good night, guys. All right. Good night, ladies. All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
Oh my god.
I mean, they know pretty much a girl, right? How long would you say? How many seconds or minutes in their head when they go up to them and talk to them? They already know whether they want to fuck you or not.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would say within 20 seconds. They literally like
I'd say even
dissect you
quicker
from
than
head
that.
to toe. Look at your eyes, your face.
I'd
and,
say
like,
less
the
than 2
way the
seconds.
way you're talking. They're like, okay, I'd fuck him.
I'd say
You know
less
what I
than
mean?
2 seconds they know. But just because they want to fuck you doesn't mean that you're gonna get luck or
It's all-
you're gonna even
that's
go
just up
back
to
with
you.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could fumble the bag.
Well, it depends what type of time she's on, though. You know what I mean? Like if she's just
DOT.
like, she'll make it clear. Like a girl will make it clear, like she's trying to fuck. Like
Yeah.
plain and simple.
But a lot of girls are worried about being judged by their friends.
Yeah,
nowadays.
judged by their friends, or they don't want to
Or
be
they
like,
wanna
okay,
look
if I
like a
open,
slut.
oh, like I like this guy, I want him to take me seriously. Should I open up my legs? So I like, okay, let me not do that.
Let me not do that. Let me chill. But it's interesting to see these girls and the way they act. But they're a lot different, like, than the girls that we usually like see out at the bars where we're from in like White Plains, New York.
Oh God.
Like we can
That place.
tell stories for days about those girls.
Oh, my
gosh.
God.
Wow. Like, whew. But I would say just like they're more open for a vibe down here for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but upstate where we're from, like, oh my God, those girls are so stuck
Like you
up.
saw how like yesterday in Morgan Wallen, like everybody was dancing,
Yeah.
having a
Yeah.
good time. Or in New York, everyone's just staying around
Standing
with
there
their
on
phones.
their phones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly Gen Zers.
Mostly Gen Zers.
Mostly
yeah.
Gen Zers,
Mostly Gen
yeah.
Zers for sure.
Oh my gosh.
I feel that generation is tarnishing our world right now.
Oh,
Oh
that
my
generation.
God.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of which, Jesus Christ, like I noticed like the biggest haters of my music are little Gen Zers.
Gen
like
Zers, biggest internet shows. I've noticed that.
Little fucking dweeby video game kids who fucking stream Twitch and fucking go on TikTok all day and troll people. I remember I posted a YouTube short of like a behind the scenes little shot of me rapping from like 2019 or something like that. Whole army, they got like 10K views in 4 hours, but a whole army of like trolly little fucking kids that stream Twitch started trashing me like, oh, look at this wannabe Eminem. We have Eminem at home. Like little fucking dweebs. Like they have nothing like
It's because they're not creative.
they're
You
not
know,
creative.
They want to.
They're
want
consumers.
They want to sit there and wait for something to happen for them. But at the end of it, if you're trying to do something better for yourself, or you're the creative one, they'll do anything to bash it, try to tear you down.
Yeah.
They're not. Yeah.
And it's just the way they were raised too. Like a lot of our generation parents didn't do a great job, to be honest, like of raising these fucking kids. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
I don't think it's really more so how they're raised. I think it's pretty much.
It's just like
it
it's
has
just
a lot to
nah.
do
You know
with
what?
it,
Nah,
but-
it's just electronics. They're just glued to their
phone.
phones. Like when
Yeah.
like we're all like
They're
like,
raised
late,
by the
we're,
iPads.
We're like late millennials. Like we played outside. We socialized more. We were more like active. Their generations, like I mean, you gotta understand, like when we were like their age, we only had like those shitty Nokias, those shitty sidekicks. But
Yeah.
now it's like a computer on your phone. You got IG, Snapchat. All your news is on your phone. Nobody watches news no more. Any of that stuff. It's all on your phone. Everything like the way like they're indoctrinated, like their minds like on
Think
their
about
phones.
it.
You know
think
what I
about it
mean?
like this: when even when you're going to talk to a girl now, you could tell right away if she's a Gen Zer because if the conversation's going well, you get to the part where you're about to get her number. She's like, "Well, I'll give you my Snapchat or I'll give you my Instagram."
Like, what's the
Yeah.
difference
It's a
between a
big
phone
difference.
number?
No,
You just block
honestly,
my number
no, you
afterwards.
guys are completely right.
So
Like,
stupid.
Honestly, I don't give a fuck if somebody has my phone number. What can you do with a phone number? Like, you can reach anyone at any time. You can message Barack Obama, Donald Trump right now, and they'd still get a ping from their Instagram the same way. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like you can reach anybody, have access to anybody at any time. So what the fuck does it matter? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, they just like they're so like guarded, but they're all like they have like this digital block around them. You know what I mean?
For
Like,
sure.
A lot of Gen Zers, even some of our generation too, is kind of like that a little bit. Just depends on the way they're swayed and how they.
Because
grew
we're
up,
like
but
late millennials. We're actually at
Yeah.
like the cutoff. Because
We're
like,
right
we're
at the cusp.
We're
yeah.
90.
We're
We're
1996.
96.
Well,
that's the
no,
that's the
I'm a
cutoff
little
from
older,
Bloody.
but
Yeah.
Joe's 91,
92.
92.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the new Gen Z starts at 97. And then forget about Gen Alpha. They start at 2012. But
God.
Gen Alpha, oh, I can only imagine by the
Holy
time they
crap.
grow up.
Yeah,
Jeez.
everything. Yeah, will be straight technology. They'll be wiping their ass with a robot at that
Yeah.
time.
And there's
that
so,
point.
there- I just like, it's like everyone talks about it now, like, oh, everyone's so sensitive nowadays, but you don't realize how sensitive they are until like you actually see, like,
Oh my God.
oh
Especially
my
like
gosh, I'm like, what
you
the
can't even
fuck?
say even like so much as like a joke sometimes.
You
Like
think
even like
you're-
when you're talking to a girl, like simple like little gestures or jokes, you're like, what? She's like, what did you just say?
Kids
Like-
are so brainwashed by the liberal media now.
Oh my
It's just
God.
absolutely insane.
Insane.
And like, I don't want to sound like a guy who stormed the Capitol, but Jesus Christ, I mean, wow.
God forbid you
Like,
say that.
Jeez, but it's just like it's insane the way like kids are so like they think you're a scumbag. Like if you don't agree with them, or you say something positive about Trump or whatever the case may be, like they're just so quick to like bash you. Like the Democrats back in the day were cool. Like they didn't really care. Like you said, like
We were talking about it yesterday.
Like some of our friends are
our friends
liberal.
are like liberal. Like they like we. It's just like an elephant in the room. Like we won't talk about like we're pretty conservative and they're pretty liberal, but like we won't talk about our political views. It's like an elephant in the room, but but we respect
we're
each
still
other.
cool with each
We're still
other.
cool with each other. That's that. But like
But,
Gen
like-
Zers, like if you say your political views, like you're automatically a scumbag. You're automatically a douchebag. Like damn,
Like you're
dude.
canceled. You're canceled. Goodbye. Get out of my
like-
face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
dude.
if you don't agree, like if you don't agree with them, like you're a fascist. Like how am I a fascist when I'm not agreeing with you?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I mean,
what?
I'm still respecting your views, but I'm not calling you a piece of shit for it. You know what
exactly.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I have
It's
two.
just-
I have two female friends, and pretty much, one is conservative, one is very liberal. And I remember we went to eat dinner one time, and I pulled an article from Instagram about how the sheriff in Florida was saying to stand your ground.
yeah.
And when I pulled that out, it only took 5 minutes before both those girls were mad at each other and ready to get the bill and leave. Like you can't even have a conversation about politics.
And it's like it's such a heavy influence in the dating scene nowadays too. Like I was dating a girl that was definitely liberal. Like she was very liberal, and I expressed my views, and like I wasn't bashing her or anything, but when I said something about the way I feel and about Trump or whatever, she wanted nothing to do with me. She was like shaming me, making me feel like a piece of shit, and then wanted nothing to do with me just because I was, expressing my opinion. I was like, I let you express your opinion, and I didn't bash you for it. I'm just saying how I feel. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying how I feel, and this is my view on this certain topic. And then I was a piece of shit, and then she deaded me after that. And I was like, what the like? I really like this. Is
No,
such
for real. Remember when we were on
a
the?
crazy thing.
Remember we were in my car that one time? I was talking to like that chick from Chicago, and then she was like, I
Yeah.
hate working 80 hours.
Oh my
I can't
gosh.
stand working 80 hours a week. She was like a nurse. I was like, I can't stand working 80 hours a week and dealing with this and that. I wish I could just stay home. I was like, well, I could make you like, my pretty stay-at-home trophy wife if you want. And then she was like, what, like I'm just supposed to like sit there and cook and clean for you and all that stuff. I was like, girl, you were
She got
just
so offended, right?
she got so offended. I'm like,
Oh
girl,
my
you were
gosh.
just complaining about working, and I just said that, not even like
it's a joke.
as a joke.
Yeah.
And then she just went complete 360.
Completely took
I was
it
like,
the
girl,
wrong way.
what?
Yeah.
But you just said it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you God forbid you have an opinion on something when you're talking to a female, especially in the Gen Zers.
Oh,
I know
God,
they get
yeah.
offended, but like it's like you farted in church if you say something. It's like
Literally. Oh my God. It's
But like a lot
unreal.
of these like girls that go to like universities, like they're just like indoctrinated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To like to think that way. Like you
No,
could hit them with
honestly.
facts of everything from 1 to 10, and like they'll still won't. They're like, okay, I don't give a fuck about the facts. That's how I feel. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
sweetheart, that's not the way
it's
it
the difference
works.
between facts and feelings, right?
For sure.
No, absolutely, 100%. And you know what I realized too? Even with all those types of people that are so strong left and like you can't convince them otherwise, there have been, in the last 4 years since Biden became president, there have been a lot of people that were kind of like more on the liberal side that now are kind of like seeing past the bullshit, and they're like, oh shit, like, nah, maybe I do agree more with this side because of XYZ, this a lot of shit doesn't make sense. Like, this does seem kind of corrupt the way things are going on, and my pockets aren't getting any better. Like, there's a lot of bullshit going on, and nothing's happening, nothing's changing. If anything, things are getting worse, and people are starting to come to their senses. Would you agree?
I 100% agree. If I'm walking in the grocery store with $100 and I can't get more than 6 or 7 things, that's a problem.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. And it's very
Like
I
you get a
mean,
handful of things. Back then it would be like less than $30. Now it's like 80, 70, 90. You're like, what the fuck? Like
Yeah.
back then my full tank of gas for my Impreza was $27. Sometimes even $25. Full tank. And then all of a sudden it just jumped from 45 and then 60. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
It's been in 2
yeah,
years. Like
yeah.
that was just insane.
It's really insane, and you hate to complain about it because it makes you sound cheap or whatever, but it's just like it's getting out of control. Like things are like 3-4 times more expensive than they were just 3 years ago. Like, and it's concerning. Like,
Just look at New York. I mean, you go and look at
Yeah.
rent prices,
The
and
rent
we've been
prices,
living there all
yeah.
our lives, and you're just looking, and it's like, wow. When I was a kid, I remember living in the Bronx with my parents, and it was like rent was 5 times cheaper than it is now. And I looked up the same place because we don't live there anymore, of course. But looked at the same place, it's probably 5 or 6 times more. Starting rent is probably like $3,000, $3,500, and that's on the if you want a 1 bedroom, you know.
Right.
So it's crazy to see how things have just skyrocketed, and it's like they're forcing you to like, unless you're like working for like the corporate or like white collared, they want you out of New York.
For sure.
Pretty much. You have to be making.
Well, that's why people are moving like to states like this: Tennessee, Texas, Florida, North Carolina. Like, what did she say yesterday? Our Uber driver, like, here rent used to be like $400. Now she said, no, it's $1,700. I'm like, girl, like 17. I looked at her like, girl,
that's good compared to New York.
Compared to New York.
Jesus Christ! Oh my God! I even noticed like when I walked into Taco Bell, or no, I think it was in Chipotle. I normally I ask for a water cup, and sometimes your boy he sneaks a little bit of Coca-Cola in that water cup and gets a free little drink. But I asked for a water cup, and the guy charged me 25 cents for it. I'm like, Jesus! I mean, it sounds like complaining about nothing, whatever. But it's just they always gave a water cup to people for free. Like, I just don't think that's right. I think every store should offer a free water cup, you know. But now they're 25 cents. Like, that's how you could tell things are really, starting to go up.
Yeah. Even when you used to go to the bar, and even in New York, they do this to us all the time, right, Hassan?
Yeah.
We'll be going into White Plains or we go to the city to a bar, and unless you go into a bar and you have a drink and you ask for water, they'll get you an iced cup of water. Yeah. If you look like you haven't purchased anything in the bar, they make you buy a bottle of water.
Yep. Yeah,
well, I used to get away with that all the time. Now I'll just buy tap water. Now they charge you for tap water.
I mean, me, I don't have that problem.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude, this is insane, bro. And my next song, one of my next songs that are coming out, it's called Uncle Sam. It's gonna be really like going off about all the bullshit going on, the prices. Planning to put it out on 4th of July, do a little marketing push behind it, but I just want to raise awareness of all this crazy it's insane. Like, it doesn't add up, and it's just going to keep getting worse and worse if we don't do anything about it. And we really got to, it's the United States is we the people. It's not about the government and how much, control they can have and how much they can tax us. We really it's up to the people, and we got to really take a stand here. It's crazy. This is for our future, and our kids' future too,
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah, for sure. But you know what? Enough of this politics talk. It's getting me a little depressed. Let's talk a little sports. Let's talk a little sports, because I know we got a couple special. It's in your specialty over here. But yeah, we're big sports fanatics. I played baseball. That was my biggest dream coming up, is playing pro baseball, and obviously it kind of transitioned a little bit. But us three, we've always had a love for baseball.
Oh, yeah.
And this is perfect time to talk about it. Summertime. There's a lot going on right now, and things are changing in the sports
basketball
scene.
just ended.
Basketball just ended.
Hockey's insane right now.
Yeah.
With Florida and Edmonton.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I still don't get how Florida was leading 3-0 in the series, and now it's tied 3-3.
You said it to me when it was 3-1. You said, I could see the Oilers forcing this to a game 7. And I was kind of like,
because they gained momentum in that game. They gained a lot of momentum.
Absolutely.
Because that offense exposed that defense. Like what you said, defense wins those championships. But
listen,
that offense, who is that offensive coordinator from the Oilers? He's a genius. He's a genius. The way he was able to exploit the Florida's defense.
Yeah, I think they're in trouble. I know Game 7's in
Florida,
but that doesn't mean just because you have that home. That home environment that you automatically can close that out. Oilers have a good offense. They have those 2 scorers in Connor, or what's his name, McDavid and I forgot how to pronounce his last name, but yeah, they have those 2 scorers, and you don't want to be going on back and forth with them, because next thing you know, they have 4 or 5 goals, and Florida's not the type.
I think
of
the
team
past 2 games they've only scored 2 goals. That's what it's like.
Yeah, you don't.
It's not looking good.
No.
Well,
and I had the hat on, my Mets.
Yeah, my boy's got his Mets support on.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a pretty good game yesterday. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, we were in the cigar lounge, and we were
chilling in the cigar lounge. I was like, oh, damn, the Mets looking like a championship team right here.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. the Mets, I can basically describe it to you, sum it up to you in 2 minutes, is pretty much they're an emotional baseball team. When they're good, they look like the hottest team in baseball. When they're bad, they're like league worst bad. Like they'll score 2 runs in a week, or they'll score 20 in one game. That's pretty much how it is. They'll win 5 or 6 in a row, or we'll lose 6 in a row.
Yeah.
So right now we're on the hot side of it, and just for me as an emotional baseball fan, I hear these Mets fans because my phone blows up all the time with my friends who are Mets fans, and they're kind of like, "Oh, we gotta do this move, and we should push at the trade deadline and go for a run." And I'm kind of like, we've had these players since 2019, and it's been 5 years. It's like reading the same book over and over again.
Well, give like the rundown of like the Mets. Joe.
The Mets,
like what's their rundown? What's their strengths and what their weaknesses are like right now?
their strength is they have a lot of tier B players, like that they think are tier A. Like Pete Alonso is a home run hitter, right? Like
tier
he's
B,
there.
though.
Yeah, he's a power, but he's really a tier B. He wants a contract like a tier A, but he's really not that level player. Lindor was paid like a tier A. He's a really good shortstop when he's on, but the problem is he's not a leader. The biggest problem with the Mets is they don't have a leader. You have Pete Alonso, you have Lindor, you have Brandon Nimmo, you have all these guys who are in that locker room who they try to be a leader, but you could tell it's not in them. You either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
And they're pretty much what they should do at the trade deadline is trade away those key pieces. Some of them it's going to be hard because they have big contracts, but they need to tear it down and start a rebuild for the next 3 years. Otherwise, they're going to be in the same position again when they start losing again.
That's a good point. I totally agree. And kind of with the Yankees, we have a lot of tier A players. We're very top heavy, but the back end, either the back end of the bullpen or the back end of the lineup.
The bullpen's a problem. The bullpen's
for
a
sure,
problem
the
for
bullpen.
Yankees.
Yeah. But also the back end of the lineup, sometimes, they don't come in clutch.
You know what it is? The past 2 weeks, they've been playing real tougher teams that's really been getting exposed now.
Yeah, and they get a little lazy before the All-Star game.
Think about the Dodgers, the Orioles, now Atlanta. They're getting exposed now, like their bullpen, how bad it is.
And would they lose to the Orioles?
You're
like
not going to get through
17-2?
October and November like that. I'm telling you that right now.
Well, Hassan and I, we yes, I said this. We went to Baltimore opening day weekend, right? We went to the Orioles Stadium, and they were playing the Angels, and it was a Saturday. And I remember we were trying to debate whether we wanted to see the Saturday or the Sunday game, and I said, bro, Saturday game was the best game to go to. We looked at the pitching matchup, and I was like, I think it was Grayson Rodriguez was pitching for the Orioles, and I said, we should go to this game. And we went to that game, and I told you right in the first inning or the second inning when they scored 7 runs, the Warriors, I'm like, this team's going to the World Series.
Yeah.
You could tell that this year, when those years of rebuilding and putting those prospects up, and Gunnar Henderson, they got Adley Rutschman, they got just the tier. Anthony Santander is there for a while.
Very young.
They got the one guy that hasn't, Jackson Holiday. He's in the minors. He hasn't even came up yet. And the one thing they got Corbin Burns from Milwaukee, who's a good pitcher. But if they get one more pitcher at the deadline, I can't see how it's going to be probably between them and the Yankees. But I think give the edge to the Orioles. I think that team.
But like what you say yesterday, Cleveland is a threat though. Cleveland's
always a threat.
Cleveland's always a threat.
The Yankees always struggle against Cleveland
for whatever
reason. I think it's a mental thing. I don't know what it is, but you do have a good point. I think I could see the Orioles going to the World Series. I'd like to see, of course, I'm a Yankee fan. I'd love to see Yankees Dodgers. Like a lot
that's
of
what Major League Baseball is promoting. It's so obvious at this point. It's
and
such an iconic rivalry.
It would be cool to see. Like, it would be cool to see.
Yankees Dodgers, you were saying?
Yankees Dodgers. Like look at the past 5 years, the past teams that have been in the World Series, like Astros, Nationals.
They want the
Rangers,
big markets.
They want big market teams.
Of course, it's more money maker for sure. Like last year, was it Texas and Arizona? Not huge market teams, but it was a cool vibe. It was cool to see the Rangers come out with one. But they want to see big markets. I mean, it would be cool to see a Dodgers. I mean, you got it on your hat right there.
Yeah, you got
Yankees,
both.
Dodgers.
Yeah.
And I went to a Yankees Dodgers game
a
couple weeks ago. Yeah, when they were playing at Yankee Stadium. And man, it was like the most packed I've ever seen Yankee Stadium. Like I've been to a lot of games. Like I'm right near the Bronx. We live right in New York. Been to a lot of Yankee games. I've been to Yankees Red Sox games, and I haven't seen it that packed. Like it was jumping.
That was the first time I ever saw on TV how packed that was.
Yeah.
And the tickets, they knew people were gonna buy those tickets. The cheapest ticket was $75. Other games, it's $5 going
I paid
Yankee
almost
Stadium.
$200 a pop for the tickets.
That's insane.
Yeah, when I looked on Saturday, we were just thinking about going that same day. The cheapest one was $170. And that's to sit up in the nose.
And we've paid Yankee tickets as cheap as what, like $4 or some shit like that on game time.
I've had some for free.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's an interesting baseball season so far. I haven't done much sports betting as I wanted to this year, but I know you guys dabble in it.
Oh yeah,
I know this guy could talk on and on about it.
2 hours on just sports betting.
So let me ask you this, Joe.
Yes.
I mean, you and I have done some bets together in the past. We've had success. We've had friends have big success in our friend group, won millions of dollars. In your experience, what is the best strategy, I guess?
Give us a rundown how you make bets.
Give us the best strategy on how to make money in any type of bet, whether it's baseball, any type of sport.
Well, see, here's the thing with baseball. Betting on baseball,
it's tough.
It's you know why it is tough though, but what can make it more simple? Baseball, if you have to be in it for the long haul, it's 162 games. So when you're betting on baseball, you kind of have to think about long-term strategy. If you're betting on parlays, if you're betting on favorites because you think that they're going to win, over time, that's going to kill your bankroll. You know, if you're starting, you have to think about a bankroll that you want to set yourself. And let's just say $5,000, right? I put $5,000 into account and I start betting. You have to do that over a period of time, and you have to do what they call straight betting. Straight betting is you pick one game, but you pick that game and you put whatever amount, that set amount on that game, and you don't change it, you don't increase it, you don't get overzealous because you're very confident and overspend. And you don't undersell it because you don't like it.
You usually got to do 1 or 2% of your bankroll per unit.
Yeah. So what you want to do is no more than 3% of the bankroll. Okay. So whatever you take that percentage, you times that by whatever your bankroll is, and you put that on each game. What you really want to do, if it's a strategy, is you want to find value on the underdogs in baseball. Yeah. Because those are going to get you that plus money. You know what I'm saying? So of course, over time, you know, a lot of people I know, because I have a page when it comes to betting and stuff like that. So I know, and I got people that ask me all the time, I said, why do you like this underdog that's like plus 200, the Rockies playing the Dodgers, right? And you're like, the Dodgers are, you know, they're going to score 10, 11 runs, but you got to understand something. I'll break it to you like this. A series is 3 games, right?
Right.
If an underdog that's plus 200 wins one of those games, you profit more than betting the Dodgers at minus odds to win 2 of those games, because you're basically, the books is making money by you giving them those odds. If you're minus 275, you have to subtract that from whatever your bankroll is. You have to put $275 just to make $100 on each game. That's not going to make you money over time. If the Rockies win one time and you put that $200 on the plus 200 and you bet again 2 more times, you still profited, even though you lost 2 times and you won 1.
You still came out on top.
You still came out on top because of the value that you get on that underdog. So you have to do that an entire season. It's tough. Some days, you know, it's not, the strategy may feel like it's not working, but at the end, your goal is not to win all the time. It's to make money. A lot of people confuse it. Just because I see people online, my record's 40-19, and I've in my last 59 games. That doesn't matter. Your key strategy is to win. I've seen people with losing records. They might win only 30%, 40% of their games, but they've had a plus unit of like 1,000 or 2,000 because they find those values on the underdog.
Yeah, and a lot of people make the mistake of doing all these crazy parlays with like, that's how you lose money. Like, we got friends that are pretty degenerate that like to throw down on big parlays, and sometimes they've hit.
Yeah, it's fun if you know.
But it's all, it's a hit or miss for sure. But
I've won. I could tell you one time. It was during COVID, and I think I told Hassan about this story. So I got COVID, and I was at work, and I drove to. This is when sports betting wasn't legal in New York yet. It was about 2 or 3 months before it became legal. So I live like 20 minutes from the Jersey border. So, you know, us 6 degenerates, you know, we'll drive across the state lines to make a bet. So I had COVID. I remember driving to the gas station. I pulled into a quick check right at the state line. Went into my phone, and I felt very confident about a bet. And, you know, sometimes when you feel overconfident, you got to really stop and think, like, is this the right thing I want to do? Should I just find one game? And I said, you know what? I'm going to parlay and never forget. It was 10 things. Put $5 on it to win $550. And I went home, and I was so sick I didn't even watch the games. I had COVID, so I had a really bad headache, went to sleep. Woke up the next day, saw the bet won, right? So I had to go back to Jersey with $550. And you know what I did? I didn't even cash it out. I went right onto the roulette wheel and I started spinning, right?
Oh my God.
I ended up winning, and I think I told you right before we went to Tampa.
Yeah.
I ended up crashing out at $9,800. Just sitting there while I was sick with COVID, spinning on this roulette wheel for like 4 or 5 hours. Went from 9,800. Then it went up to 16,000, right? Because I went back the next day because I was like, I didn't cash out.
Yeah.
Nope. I went from 16,000, lost, got to like 12,000. I said, you know what? I'm good with this. And then we went on vacation, had a good time, right? We went to Tampa.
We went to Tampa.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's
was
probably
crazy.
the best story I had.
I remember
from,
that too.
Yeah.
That was You gotta be careful. I
Yeah.
mean, you
It
can
can
come
get out
out
of-
on top. but
Tell us like our other friend's strategy. I don't want to say his name. Tell us how
we won't
he
use
was
names
able.
on here,
Yeah, but tell us how he
This
was
dude
able
won
to
a
do.
fuck ton of money.
Tell
I
us
was
how
there,
his
holy
strategy
crap.
is genius. I like it. I don't know how he did
So-
it, but he did
Well,
it.
he's one of the ones that does the strategy. How we said, you know,
Mm-hmm.
he started with me when I first. I got into sports betting in 2020 when COVID first started because not much to do. So I was a sports fanatic. So got into that quick way to make money. And our other friend, this particular guy, it was 2 years in. We were about to go play basketball. We went to a rec gym and we were in a gas station. Something about these gas stations brings us good luck, I think. But he told me to go inside to buy Gatorade. And I did. I came out. He uploaded $400 into the betting account, and it was college basketball. And I love betting on college basketball. I feel like if you don't know anything about sports betting, college basketball is a great way to start out because all you have to do is pretty much pick a team.
Right.
So $400 he put into the account, and when he did that, he picked 4 games, and that won him $6,000. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to go play basketball. The games were going on. I remember watching it. 3 out of the 4 games were played, and 2 out of the 3 were winning. And one team had to win by more than 11 points. They were down by 15 points. So they had to make up a difference of 25. So he was already like, damn, we're going to lose. Some reason, I think a team name was Drake. It was the Drake Bulldogs. And I remember they went on the run that they not only reversed the score, but they ended up winning by like 20-something, right? So he had one game left, and then that team it was an underdog. They won outright, and he won the money. And I remember he stood with it, and he said, you know what? I'm going to keep this $6,000 in here, and I'm going to keep betting. Ever since that time, he just straight bet one game. Turned the 6,000 to 12, the 12 to 24. He got up to I think it was 240 grand, right? And when he got to 240 grand, he took $50K and then bet it on 3 teams. It was to win $150K. That one. So he got the account to like $560,000 and from $400.
Wow.
And it was over the course of weeks, and he just kept that strategy up. And then I remember he got to 9. I remember he was at 998K, right, 2,000 away from $1 million. And I was like, dude, you should just cash out right now. Like, what more are you looking for?
What more
right?
are you looking for?
He
right?
said, I want to get in that $1 million threshold, and he did. He
Sure
got
enough,
to
he
1
did.
point. No, this is the crazy part about the whole thing. He got to 1.2 mil, and then he took 2,000. They gave him bonus bets like FanDuel because he made him a premium, like a VIP.
Yeah.
They gave him $2,000 in bonus bets, and he won a 15-leg parlay and won another $573K. So it got his account to 1.7 million. And I think at the end of it, it was really 2.1 or 2.2, but with taxes, they gave
What
him
was
like
the 15-game parlay? Basketball?
It was college basketball,
Oh, okay.
the entire thing. 15 legs, and he won. 2,000 to win 563K, I think it was.
I didn't realize he got up to 1.7 mil. I thought it was only
It
like
was
one.
1.7 after taxes, so I think it was like 2-point-something million. And then he cashed out at
wow.
1.7.
Jeez.
And I remember when he cashed out, his first thing he did was he told me to take him to Westchester BMW so he could buy a new M3.
Oh my God.
But
that's a great story.
That was probably the
That's
craziest thing
hilarious.
I've seen from a betting story.
Yeah,
And then,
honestly.
Then the best part was since they made him a VIP, they gave us free tickets to go. We went to Knicks games in the suite. We went to a couple
Oh
games.
yeah, I do remember.
They made
that,
him
yeah.
like it was pretty cool.
Wow.
He went to a couple the basketball the championship, not the national championship, but the Elite 8, the Final 4. Like
Oh yeah, March Madness.
yeah,
and
he
stuff,
was in the Madison Square Garden in the suite watching
Yeah.
those too.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, God bless him. That was an awesome story. But yeah, I mean, it's really like you gotta stick to your strategy. You gotta know your stuff, and you can't get too greedy. But sometimes you gotta have a little bit of kahunas to coming out with
Scare
the big
money
bucks.
doesn't make no money.
That's
Scare
what I'm
money
saying.
don't make no money.
Gotta risk it for the biscuit, right?
No, absolutely.
That's the saying.
Yes, and nowadays, Lord knows you need fucking 7 streams of income and a fucking side scam to fucking make rent in New York, you know?
That you
Jesus
need a
Louises.
passive income nowadays. You need to, because 9 to 5 is not cutting it.
No.
That doesn't
I
even
really
exist
feel
anymore.
bad for people. Like, so many people are check to check. I mean, us 3 right now, we're in a blessed situation where we're good with money.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it's tough out there. I feel bad. I really feel for people, you know? But, you know, all you can do, like, I try to help people out as much as I can and, you know, try to lead people in the right direction, be a mentor to people, you know, that follow my music and shit. And, I mean, it's, you want to tell people, like, oh, there's opportunity out there, you know, this is America, you know, go make something of yourself. But at the same time, like, it's not the same America it was in the 1950s and like, when our parents came up, you know, they were like, oh, you know, just work really hard, save all your money, you know, buy a house, have kids.
Yeah, American
That
dream.
strategy doesn't work anymore. People don't realize. Like, I mean,
we're fortunate right now. We're single. We have no kids. But when the time comes, it will definitely get more challenging as time goes on.
yeah.
That's why I think in the sense of where we're at now, you know, late 20s, early 30s is now is the time to, you know, really be motivated. Find, you know, what it is, one, income, right? Making sure that you stay focused with that, taking care of yourself, making sure that you're, you know, putting yourself in the best situation possible, because if, you know, things can get distracted. If you find, you know,
Especially women.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Especially
you
women,
find
without a doubt.
yourself a
women.
nice girl,
Yeah.
and you know you're
She
trying
wants,
to do the,
yeah.
you know
They
they
want
try
to take
to
your focus away.
Yep.
and,
They take you.
oh my God, you're not paying attention to me. What the fuck?
Like yesterday, when I was working
Honey,
out,
I'm trying to make money.
when I was working out at a hotel, I called myself like getting distracted, texting this girl in between sets. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
yo,
put
let
the
me put
phone
the
down.
fucking phone aside and fucking finish my calisthenics. I was like, what am I doing?
Listen.
What am
I
I
think
doing
about
right
like this, especially when it comes to girls, like they'll like the fact they say they want a guy that's, you know, ambitious, that, you know, has things going for him, that they don't make them a priority, right? That their world
Right,
doesn't
yeah.
revolve around them. But the second you're doing those things as you're meeting them, you know, they have the double standard where it's like, well, now
Oh
you're
my
not spending
God.
enough time on me.
Exactly.
It's
Like, you
it's
know,
so
you guys know me.
frustrating.
I'm working 80 hours a week. Like
Yeah.
my Friday night into my Saturday shift, I'm working that 24 hour, 4:30
Yeah.
to 4:30.
Yeah.
I had like this girl. It's like, oh, you do this, you do that. You don't have time to see me. How come you're not making at least somewhat time? Like, you really want me to drive over to you, making it convenient for you? I'm like, yes, we are. I do. Can't, you want a ring? You got to put in the work in for that ring.
You want
Like,
these $250 dinners? Jesus Christ! Oh my
I'm
gosh.
being serious.
Let me ask you a question, Johnny.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to music and stuff like that, I think about life, right? When people see a price tag on stuff, right? This is what people, especially our age or younger, they see a price tag. I gotta have this bag. It's $2,000, or it. People, I think they have a misconception. I think when you look at something, right? Do you think of the price, or do you think of the time that you have to put in to get that? Like, when you see a price is $2,000, all right, what does it take me to get to that $2,000, right?
That it?
And the best valuable thing is your time more
Right.
than it is the money, because
It's the most
that
valuable
time.
asset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, like 5 years ago, when, you know, I didn't really have much money, you know, I was really grinding and struggling. Like, I would look at a price tag for sure, and like, oh man, I can't afford that. But nowadays, it's more like I'll pay for it if it's gonna save me time and be convenient. Because now, you know, you realize, like, no, yeah, like, your time is precious. Like, you know, I got so much shit to do between the music, my marketing, just everything in between, and, you know, trying to have a social life. So time is very important, and, you know, you can't buy back time. You could always get more money. You can't get more time, unfortunately. And that's really what my advice is to, you know, anybody out there. Like, really, you know, do an audit on your time, how you're spending your time, because your time is you know, figure out how much you're worth an hour and think, man, why am I spending it doing this? Why am I paying attention to this person who's not giving me positive energy back? Whether it's a girl, whether it's a family member, whoever, you know, you really got to take in consideration your time. And if you're blessed enough to have the money to invest to save you time, definitely do it. It's not a waste of money. And, you know, something that you're doing that you're enjoying too, that's not a waste of money either. You got to, take in consideration we only have so much time on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
And, my advice to anybody, guys, girls, focus on yourself.
Focus on
Like,
yourself.
Yeah.
Really,
Focus on yourself.
It sounds cliche, but you're going to feel so much better. You're going to put up more positive energy if you show that love to yourself inward. You know,
Especially
what I mean?
being like a single straight male, like in America.
Value yourself.
Value yourself. Work out. Put in those extra hours at your job. Save money. Invest into something. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the key part. The
There's a
investment.
lot of people are
Mhm.
people pleasers, and they
People-pleasers.
feel insecure about themselves, so they gotta
Or the next
accommodate
trendy
their
thing.
time towards somebody else, a girl or a family member, whoever.
Oh.
But you can't help anybody
that's
unless
what-
you help yourself
Mhm.
first. It sounds so cliche, but I can't say it enough. Like once you start investing that time and energy into yourself, like it's just gonna pay off dividends tenfold. You know what I'm saying? So really, and you got to believe that you're worth it too. Like if you're in a rut right now and you're struggling, like how am I going to get out of this? Like I'm backed up in debt. Like I don't have anyone to turn to, and like there's no situation out of. Like I feel like a piece of shit. Like you really got to just put one foot in front of the other. Don't look too far ahead, but focus on the actions you can do right now that'll get you towards that end goal. The small actions right now that'll get you towards that, final destination. It's not going to happen overnight,
Oh,
but if
no.
you
You
put
just got to
one
put
foot
in
in front of the
work.
other,
Nobody's going to save you.
Nobody's
Nobody's going to
coming to
save you.
save
No
you.
one's going to save you.
yeah, it's a
Unfortunate
tough
to have you
economy
guys
out
as
there.
friends. That you guys, we all have helped each other out. Like you guys are like
Yeah.
true, genuine friends. But at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
like you really only have yourself
Only
to
have
rely on.
yourself and maybe a couple close friends, but at the end of the day, it's just like you're only here on Earth for a
Oh,
short blip
yep.
of time. You know what I mean? So like we were almost not going to do this Nashville trip, and I was like telling you
For no
boys,
reason.
like
Yep.
boys, we can always get back money. We can always do this, do that, but this quality time, having shared good memories, you only get a certain amount of time to do that, on this earth. So we got to make the most of it while you can.
The cost of that is priceless.
It's priceless.
Priceless. Mhm.
Absolutely. So if you're thinking about anyone listening, if you're thinking about booking that trip, just book it.
Just book it.
Nashville's where it's at.
Nashville, where it's at. Invest that time into
Invest that time.
yourself.
And travel. Don't just stick around like your little area, your local town, your
Expand
local
your
bar.
horizons.
Expand your horizons. If you have like a good group of friends, like how we are, go on those 4, 6, 8 hour road trips. Take that flight out to West Coast, down south. You know
You're
what
not
I'm saying?
going to regret it.
You're not
No.
gonna regret it.
You might
have to
spend
see what
money
life has
for
to offer.
sure, but
Oh, but that,
Mhm.
yeah.
it's going to come back. And people think, oh, I can't afford a trip right now. Like, all right, well, then get on your grind and put one foot in front of the other and just, do those small actions. It sounds so repetitive and tedious, but like if you can just wake up in the morning, make your bed, brush your teeth, and say, you know what? Let me go apply for that job. I've been procrastinating, putting it off too long. Let me go, try to make an Instagram page. And I know I can I have a passion for this product. I know I can sell this. I know I can do that. So just start taking the steps and don't be afraid, because your time is you're only here for maybe, if you're lucky, 80 to 100 years,
Yeah.
So it's
And that's
like,
not even guaranteed.
it's not even guaranteed. You can get hit by a bus tomorrow.
You know what the
You know?
crazy thing is too, and they say midlife, right? When you hear the term maybe midlife crisis, some people that they say they go through that, or they talk about you're in the middle of your life when you hit your 40s or 50s. You're really not. The middle of your life, you think about the average lifespan is 76 years. Your midlife is really 38 years old.
Right.
Mhm.
We're almost there. I mean, I'm 28 now. Shit. It really, from 18 to 28, it's felt like such a blur. Like
For
it
real.
went
Yeah.
so fast. And
So fast.
Listen, I'm 32. It definitely was a blur for me in my 20s.
And then you see some of these Gen Zers sitting fucking streaming for 24 hours straight, living their life in a video game. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, they are glued to technology. And the problem is, you know what it is?
Like, you're practically a video game yourself. You're practically in the video
An
game.
NPC.
Yeah, but you know what it is too? And I've dated my fair share of single moms that have young kids, so I
Lord
kind of
knows.
experience. Yeah, I experienced it, but I see them when they have their kids that are maybe from 4 to 8 years old. They'll hand them a tablet just so that they can do what they got to do, and because they don't want to deal with it because their patience is low. So they pretty much program that kid at a young age to be glued to technology. And by the time they get to middle school, when it comes time to do expand on your social skills, when what are most young boys doing and teenagers? They're getting into sports. They're building their friends' social network, or wherever, whatever that is. But then you have these kids these days, and I see it. They don't want to join any sports. They don't want to do anything. They want to sit at home and play Call of Duty, right?
Streaming is my sport. What are you talking about, Mom? You don't even understand me.
Yeah,
Get the fuck out of my room.
Yeah,
go make
go
me
get
some
my chicken
Takis.
fingers.
Where's my Takis and my chicken fingers?
Yeah, it's
Well, did you make your bed, Johnny? Fuck you. I'm streaming.
they will do that all day long from sun up to sundown.
I know. And, oh my God. It's like I used to work with kids, and like I was one of my jobs. I was working with autistic children, and I work with a lot of teenage, adolescent age Gen Zers. And I mean, yeah, they were autistic and shit, but they were such brats and like had the worst attitudes. Like always expected.
Yeah, the
things
lower
handed to
spectrum
them.
kids, like when we had to take them to gym, I remember like none of them wanted to work out or do anything. I'm like, how?
Oh
I don't want
gosh.
to go for a walk. Can't just go
I
for
know,
a walk.
like I get it, guy. You're autistic and everything, but like, get out there. Like, you don't have to play video games for fucking 24 hours a day. I mean, there's more shit you can do, bro.
You should at least engage in at least 1 hour of physical activity.
Yes.
I wake up 5 o'clock in the morning and work out just before I go. I
Think
come to
about
work.
it. When I remember when I got a car, I was like 16. I was 16 when I got a car, and I remember just driving, going to like parks, just going to play basketball, just being outside, right? And I think about even as I got to like 19, 20, and I drive by playgrounds, I drive by basketball courts, and it'd be packed all the time. Now, I was thinking about this before we even went on this trip. I was driving, and I'm like, the parks are empty.
Yeah,
The
bro. You
only
notice
people
that?
I see at parks are
Nobody's
people
at
our
parks.
age playing basketball.
No.
I
Yeah.
never see little kids at parks
No,
no more.
young kids,
Nobody's at parks. It's
because I'm telling you, I date these
I
single
just
moms.
I
and
didn't even notice that. I didn't even
see
notice
what
that
these
until
kids are
now. Until
doing.
you just said it.
Yeah. Oh my God. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
Mhm.
bro.
Well, a lot of them, they don't preoccupy. You gotta understand, at a young age, your mind you're overstimulated. So you always have to stimulate these young kids' minds. And when you put the tablet there, and then pretty much you're on YouTube all day, or you're pretty much looking up most of the kids that I could tell you right now what they're probably YouTubing, whatever TV show pretty much that they've been programmed from as a kid, a streaming site for whatever video game that they're playing.
Or
because-
Naruto.
Yeah. They're pretty much doing stuff like that, finding out cheat codes for games, trying to do, all that on a tablet. They're like, why go outside when I can
Have
YouTube
unlimited-
outside?
Bro, there's so much content out there nowadays. There's unlimited entertainment for kids.
Yeah.
Like
It's
they
sad.
could literally spend the rest of their lives and
Remem-
just have like
remember when we were
nutrients
kids?
injected in them.
When I was a kid, I lived in the Bronx. The fest came to play, and you used to get a rush from it. It was playing Ding Dong Ditch. You used to just find shit outside.
Ding Dong Ditch. I'll tell you what me and my cousins used to do. We were degenerates. We did this on Thanksgiving night. We were out. It was like 20 degrees outside. We were out there, and they lived in a little neighborhood with like a main road, and we'd be like hiding in like these little bushes or whatever. And our family had like so much extra dessert, pumpkin pie, like you could eat it for days. Like they had so much left over. So we grabbed, when the parents weren't looking, we grabbed like some pumpkin pies, apple pies, and on the main road we'd hide in the bushes, and we'd fucking chuck pies at cars going by. One of the guys slammed on the
we used to break
brakes.
windows.
We fucking ran, and we thought the guy was chasing after us, but we used to do Ding Dong Ditch, like Manhunt even.
Even
too.
Manhunt
was fun.
Manhunt was awesome. Oh my gosh.
Now these kids are only playing Manhunt on Call of Duty, right? They don't know how the real experience is of being outside, no street
Yeah.
lights.
Oh my
You're just
gosh.
out there, and you're there most of the night. See, I had the good experience for myself. I lived in the Bronx for a while, and then I moved up, an hour north into the Hudson Valley. So I got the Manhunt experience living, kind of in the woods.
Mhm.
But in the city, when it was Ding Dong Ditch, it was, it was just experience that,
Nowadays, you
you're
gotta worry
causing
about
trouble
getting
as a
shot.
kid. You're gonna get yourself into some trouble as a kid. You don't want to do anything. Obviously, it's gonna, we're not promoting, people to go out there and get arrested. But at the same time, just those experiences that you just have as a
Cause
kid.
a little mischief.
Yeah, just improvise. You're outside and
Get
you're
out
like,
there, explore the world.
you don't
kids.
have listen. You're outside. You don't have a cell phone. You don't have anything. Find stuff to do. Find ways to keep yourself busy and to find interesting ways and be creative. And that's the thing. This is why these young kids, when they're growing up now, don't have creative minds.
No.
They're very
don't.
like you could tell like
They're very consumer based.
yeah.
And
They're
it
waiting
just-
for somebody to tell them to do. They look at their phone. They go on YouTube. They're waiting for someone to point them in the next direction to do something.
Yeah.
They can't make.
Yeah, no
And you
independent
wonder
thought process or motivation.
how the
at
world's
all.
going to be in 50 years with kids like that, man. Like, because they're not going to push anything forward. I mean, the digital space is always going to be pushed forward, and there's probably going to be new innovative shit coming out, you know, like people like Elon Musk and stuff like that. But who the fuck is going to be the Elon Musk of the Gen Zers?
Gen
Like,
Zers.
like, what the fuck? Like,
Well, they got that. You know, you put on that headset and you go into that that alternate.
Oh, VR.
the
oh,
alternate
God.
reality
God.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That'll probably.
And that's
be
only
this.
like in its primal stage right now.
Yeah.
Especially with like AI,
Yeah,
everything,
that'll
all this
be
stuff's in this
primal,
like the
yeah.
primal stage. Like I can only imagine 20, 30, 40 years from now.
Oh yeah. Dude, there's 40-year-old men wearing it, fucking
Yeah.
watching porn and shit. Oh my gosh, it's like I'm right here. Jesus Christ.
Or there's young kids who are like depressed. You know, I'm getting bullied in school, so I'm gonna come home and just put on this headset and like, you know what? Suck it up.
Kind
go
of
and-
takes them out of
Yeah,
reality.
suck
you
it
know?
up. Go back to school and kick that kid's ass and move on. Like, you know what I'm saying? This generation is like,
Yeah, we deal with shit.
yeah,
Like
you deal with life on what you know. What I'm saying, like, I'm not promoting, you know,
violence,
violence or
whatever.
anything like that. But you know, I hear these stories. Like I said, these kids that used to come home. I remember I was dating this girl, and this kid used to come home off the bus. He was like about 7 or 8 years old. I guess a kid was pulling on his shirt or something like that. You know, messing with him, and you know, she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go on the bus." You know, we were talking about it. She's like, "I'm gonna go on the bus the next morning." And I said, "You know what? Don't even do that. Tell him to handle it first, right?
Mhm.
Tell him, and then that way you know if he's coming to you about it, that's your biggest number one thing as a parent, right? You want your kid to be able to talk to you about what's going on, right?
For
When
sure.
you find out from the school calling or anything like that. And I think, you know, the way it is, when I was a kid, you know, I had that similar situation. It was like my mom and dad pretty much told me, like, if you come home and I hear about this story again, I'm kicking your ass.
Getting your ass
Yeah.
beat.
That's what-
Facts,
that,
yeah.
I won't put my kid like in boxing or like mixed martial arts. Put him at a young age, 5 years old. I'm being serious. That's the way.
Nowadays, kids are
That's a
calling
one-
CPS on their parents. Like, oh my God, my mom said she's going to fucking beat me with the belt. I'm going to lock her up.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
sad with the kids now because they don't even the parents, you know,
There's
they
no
don't want to even
respect
tell them,
anymore.
but they don't want to tell them like basic self defense. If someone, you know, how
They're
to defend
afraid
yourself.
to tell them.
Yeah, now it's pretty much go run and tell the teacher. And the
Use
teachers
your
don't know.
words, Jimmy. You know, it's just like, oh my God. Yeah, it's a different time we're living in, man. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm just focused on what I got to focus on.
Yeah,
Yes.
You know, and
Yes.
I know my values, my core beliefs, and I'm just trying to instill that into my music because I know I have my core fan base, you know, people that agree with me and shit like that. There's people that don't agree with my political views but still listen to my music, you know? So it's just, I'm just trying to put out into the world, you know, the energy that I want back, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a different time, man, but what can we do? We can't do much except try to, you know, educate people the best we can, try to keep the positivity going, and really just keep the people in your life that, you know, you want around. Like, I honestly, like, this
Positive
is-
people.
Yeah.
Always
Yeah.
try to keep positive people around.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than lazy, ambitious people or people that don't want to do nothing.
Oh, and they complain
Nothing
they don't
worse.
have this, they don't
They
have
have
that,
that.
They don't
and
have
they're
that,
not doing
they
anything.
They're not
complain.
doing
to
anything
it.
about it.
Yeah. Honestly, over the last 10 years, my friend group has shrunk so much.
So much.
Yeah,
Now it's basically just us, the Three Musketeers, you know? So it's like, it's crazy how much, you know, people change over time. And now I remember some best friends that I had, like, growing up in high school, and now they don't even want to talk to me because they saw I maybe shared something about Trump or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, it's crazy. You know, the way people just change, and I don't
Well,
know.
if you have the same mindset as you, the same friend group as you did like from years ago, that just shows that you
Yeah, I
haven't
was
really
gonna say,
grown.
yeah,
Your mentality is
Yeah.
still the same.
you're not doing
Right.
the
You
same.
know what I'm saying?
shit
I bump
from
into
high
kids
school.
from high school all the
Yeah.
time. You're like, oh, Hassan, this, that. They think I'm the same person as I was 10, 14 years ago. I'm like, bro, I'm not that kind of guy no more. Like, I'm very cool, calm, collective. I don't really do that stuff, bro. Like, I've grown up.
Yeah.
If you're still fucking around with the same people, I can understand. Like, I have like 3 real good friends I'm still friends with from high school. But again, they have their own lives.
Mhm.
But like, if you're in that same mindset, you just have not grown as a person. You know what I'm saying? That's why I meant when I met you guys. Expand your horizons, have connections, etc. We all help each other out.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. And networking, like your network,
Mhm.
net worth is your network. You know, definitely. Like I'm always trying to reach out to new people make connections with people, grow. You know, that's what I do with my marketing business, with music. You know, trying to meet new people in the industry.
There's nothing wrong about meeting new people. Nothing wrong about that.
No, and that's kids are afraid to do that nowadays too. Like we got to teach them more social skills. Like
their social skills are shot.
it's just everything is either online, talking through the video games or whatever. Like there's no face-to-face interaction anymore. You know, unless it's FaceTime, but it's not the same.
Even think about the kids, like when you're thinking about holidays or when it's somebody's birthday. Remember the days you had to get up and actually call someone or go say happy birthday to them? You show up at maybe, you know, their parents' place, or you go to, you know, your uncle, whoever, grandma's birthday. These kids don't even want to pick up the phone to call. They text.
Yeah.
It's a text. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Grandma.
That's enough.
Yeah, come on.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It just gives me a headache thinking about it. Like, I can't even anymore.
To see where it becomes, it's like natural to just send a happy birthday text to your mom or your dad. It's like pick up the phone and call and actually go do
pick
something.
Pick up the phone.
Yeah, get your mom
don't
flowers.
Even FaceTime, like,
you know,
or
get
go
your dad
see
a
them.
watch. You know, do something that actually like means that you mean happy birthday. Sending a text message and ordering on Amazon a gift doesn't really, you know,
it's just laziness.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a shame, but what can you do? You know. But anyways, I got some dope music videos dropping this summer. Looking to book some shows in Tampa coming up soon. Tampa, the Southeast. Trying to make my way back up north. I even want to get some shows booked in AC, Atlantic City.
Nothing wrong with Atlantic City, right?
Atlantic City.
Yeah. So we're going to try to do a couple little mini tour this summer. Me and Troy, I haven't seen Troy in a while. Me and Grimo, we're going to be putting out another summer banger EP, probably late July, maybe early August. That's my whole vibe is I like to try to put banger music out in the summertime, really catch a vibe. And we're going to probably put out some music videos from some old albums too coming out. There's a few songs that really have done well that I didn't really give enough attention to as far as music videos and marketing and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to circle around back to some of that. I know these guys are probably going to help me out with some music videos this summer.
Oh, for sure.
We're going to be litty, get a whole team of girls and shit like that. But a lot of dope stuff coming. I'm excited. But it was great having you boys on the podcast.
Sure, man.
We got to do this again sometime soon. I feel like we don't do enough podcasts, but I'm trying to do at least once a month. Like that would be lit.
And eventually bi-weekly. Eventually.
Bi-weekly for sure. But, you know, just got to keep it moving. And thank you guys for listening. This has been the Johnny Dehn Podcast, episode number 3. See y'all next time. Catch y'all on the flip.